I just want to go home to my castle. That simple sentence instantly became a viral storm that hit all social media platforms in less than 24 hours. However, who would have thought that one phrase from a Jungkook, BTS's golden magne, is not just an ordinary outpouring of heart. He is a silent explosion of a big secret, which has been hidden behind the fame, glamour, and mask named idol. Is it true that Jungkook has a palace? Or is it a metaphor for something deeper, more heartwarming, or more controversial? This story is not just about a magnificent building. It's about wounds, about the real house, about palaces that cannot be bought with money, fame, or even the love of millions of fans. That day Seoul was raining heavily, the gray sky hanging low as if suppressing the breath of anyone who looked at it. And in the midst of that gloomy atmosphere, a live video broadcast suddenly ignited a huge explosion. Jungkook, dressed in a simple outfit, a plain white tee, shirt, and slightly disheveled hair from having just finished training, sat in a small dorm room that didn't seem to have changed much in the first place. She smiled softly, her eyes a little wistful, but there was an honesty in her highlights that was rarely seen these days. I miss home so much. My home, yes, is like my own palace, he said in a low but clear tone. There I can be myself. Boom. The world seemed to stop. The words are ringing, constantly replayed, debated, made into memes, discussed in forums, even used as material for in-depth investigations by the fan base and the media, that it's not just because he calls his house a palace, but because his face, when pronouncing it, does not show happiness, quite the opposite. There is sadness, there is stinging, there is fatigue. Are these signs that Jungkook is harboring something bigger? Does the palace mean his childhood home, his new home, or is it precisely a place of escape that no one knows about? When the palace remark resonated on social media, most of the public simply caught it as a casual metaphor. However, for longtime fans, especially those who have followed Jungkook since his pre-debut, it's not just a poetic word. There's something fishy, something too honest for the size of an idol of the most famous group in the world. And that was the beginning of much deeper excavations that a few days after that live broadcast, the internet turned into a field of speculation. Fanbase accounts began uploading snippets of past videos, old photos, and even interview footage that had been forgotten. Jungkook Palace went from being a joke to a mysterious code. Not a few suspected that Jungkook was giving hidden clues, like asking for help subtly. A thread on Twitter, now renamed X, went viral. The castle that collapsed? Analysis of Jungkook's speech and evidence there's a big problem behind scenes. The thread featured old photos of Jungkook with his family, most of which were removed from social media, followed by quotes that apparently were never discussed publicly. One of the shaking quotes reads, "In the past, the house was where I felt most free. But now, I don't know where I can feel like that anymore." It wasn't from a new video, but rather a 2020 interview, when BTS was on the rise with Dynamite. The speech was never in the spotlight because there was too much fake happiness on the screen. But now, when everything is reread, it feels like a neglected scream. And this is where everything begins to shift from speculation to emotional investigation. The palace began to feel like a symbol, not a luxury, but a loss, and no one really knows what Jungkook's life is like behind the camera. She is the golden magne, perfect, multi-talented, loved, made a role model, made an object of desire and inspiration in one package. But who knows what he sacrificed? An unofficial report from former big hit staffers who had become a sensation in the fan community mentioned that during his trainee days, Jungkook often cried alone in the training room. He didn't cry because he couldn't train, but because he was homesick. The kid used to say, "I just want to go home," she wrote in an anonymous post. But he doesn't know where home is anymore. He said his house had changed. Since his debut, Jungkook's life has become public property. His privacy is eroded away. His personal space is hacked by the curiosity of millions of pairs of eyes. Even when he tried to buy a luxury house in Itaewon, which had been touted as a palace by the media, he actually sold it back without having time to live. Is that the castle he meant? Definitely not. He left because he didn't feel at home. Even more heartbreaking is a moment in the documentary Break the Silence, when Jungkook sits alone and says, "I feel empty when I come home. Like this room is not mine. It's just a bed, not the house." That was the point when the fans realized the palace was not about a place to live, but a place where Jungkook felt alive. And he lost it. During one of the virtual fan sign sessions last year, a fan asked what Jungkook missed the most. His answer surprised everyone. Dinner with the family, no cameras, no bodyguards, no pressure to go home, training quickly. The speech sounds simple, but for someone of Jungkook's level, it's like an impossible luxury. Life as a world superstar gets him caught up in an exclusive routine he can't control. The family slowly drifts away, not because they don't love him, but because the system limits them to a distant relative on his mother's side, whose identity has been kept secret, said in an off-the-record interview with local South Korean media. "We used to get together a lot. Jungkook always comes and goes to family events. But since 2018, all changed. The schedule is crazy. Even when his father was sick, he could only call for a short time, and he was devastated by it." The word caused a wave of emotions among fans. Many have wondered, how could someone who was so strong on the screen turn out to be harboring so many invisible wounds? And again, that palace remark became a symbol of longing for the life that used to be life as Jungkook, not BTS's Jungkook. The most devastating sayings come in unexpected moments. During a vocal training session for his solo project, a crew member filmed a joke between Jungkook and his vocal coach. In the joke, Jungkook said, "If I finish today at 9, I can go home. But who's waiting? A ghost maybe?" The coach laughed. Jungkook laughed too. But the laughter was deafening. Fans who saw the footage, which was mysteriously leaked, immediately felt that something was off. Comments flooded social platforms. The laughter was insincere. He said something that was real, but hidden. "Whoever is near him, please pay attention." That's not just a joke. It's a confession from someone who's been worshipped, but is actually feeling very alone. And again, the public asked, does the palace really exist? Or is it that the palace has been destroyed, and now there are only ruins of memories that make him continue to miss home?